Fight on family, Preston's Paradise here, man. Joined with Paulie Walnuts. And it's pre-games, man. It's pre-games with Paulie and Preston. Week 4, the USC Trojans, man, are taking on the Michigan State Spartans late night. I'm going to have to be drinking some coffee, bro, watching this game tonight, man. I'm having a couple of espresso shots for sure. Paulie, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. What do you hear? What do you say? Let me tell you how I feel today, Preston. We're playing a team that hasn't won it on the West Coast since 1957. And let me tell you, our boys better be ready for it because I'm fired up. How dare people think that a team that hasn't won on the West Coast since 1957 is going to come into our house at night when they're over there eating their White Castles and going to bed at that hour? They're going to come into our house and handle us. It's not going to happen, okay? We're coming in and we're going to roll this team. This is our chance to make a statement, folks, and it's going to happen tonight.
Absolutely, no shot, bro. And you know, like these Michigan boys, they got to LA like on Thursday or whatever, or maybe sometime yesterday. You know, they had to tap into the medicinals. They probably had a couple girls like, yo, man, we want to try this. Want to try what you guys got out here on the West Coast?
Yeah, they want to try it out.
Out late last night, you know what I'm saying? Like they're fuzzy in the brain, fuzzy, physically. They're not gonna be ready for the night. 11 p.m. kickoff Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. But let's get into it, man. Let's talk a little bit about last night. Did you actually? There was also some good. Before we get into what USC did last week, did you watch that Iowa Rutgers contest last night?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, man. But it just depends. Like I catch myself, I'm watching everything from. I mean, it could be Rice versus Akron. I mean, it doesn't matter, bro. I watch anything, man. So it's just, but I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't catch the end. I fell asleep.
Yeah, Iowa ended up pulling it off. But I mean, I don't know. Iowa is, they kind of, at times they look good. At times they look bad. Gronowski is just inconsistent. And we're going to talk a lot about quarterback play in today's show as well. Like just the inconsistency, like these quarterbacks missing layups, bro. Wide open guys in the flat, wide open guys, on the sideline, and they're not giving the ball, man. They're short arming the throws. They're not able to get the ball and put it where it needs to be. But I also was watching late night before I went to sleep. I was watching Modern Day play against Bishop Gorman. That was a pretty good game. Modern Day ended up squeaking that one out. Got a bunch of Trojans out there making plays on the defensive side of the ball. Sean Scott, Tom out there making some plays. Yeah. But USC last week get our first Big Ten victory of the season on the road. After the rain delay, 900 lightning strikes, lots of chaos, but the Trojans pulled it out. Looked a bit hairy at times. I personally was not really worried at any point in the game. I think they controlled the game overall for most parts of the game. Got turnovers when they needed to, made plays whenever, plays really need to be needed, whether it was on third down, whether it was defensively when Purdue was knocking on the door, just was able to make plays and capitalize on every opportunity last week. I know a lot of people in the fan base were not exactly pleased with the opposition's passing game, the ability for them to, throw passes, get big chunk plays going up the field. Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of systematically, right? Them running the RPO, our quarterbacks playing soft. I think a lot of people have to understand, and I'll let you chime in on this after I say this. When we're watching that game and we're like, wow, they're picking up these slants, they're picking up these big chunk plays through the air. Our secondaries are continuing to play soft. I think it's fair to say that the coaches on the sidelines witnessed that as well. We weren't the only ones watching the game that saw the chunk plays happen over and over and over again. And systematically, strategically, we knew, I think our coaching staff knew that was not going to, lose us the game. And it was just, we had to pick our poison on the road against Purdue last week.
Yeah, it's just like I said, to me, I the way I equated to it, our boy Black, he was at the game, man. He was he was there, and I was listening to those guys talk about it, and you know what, dude, I would have been slightly nervous too, man. And make a long story short, though, you look at these coaches. These guys know what they're doing. Obviously, I mean, who are we to question what they're doing? But the slant thing, did it bother me? Whatever. But there's always adjustments that can be made. I was already thinking about this today. I was like, everybody's kind of freaking out about this whole situation with the DBs and all of it. I could easily see them because he works. He's from a pro system. Lynn is, and Lynn learned under these great coaches, I could easily see them doing that one switch where they put our best cornerback on the number 2 receiver and put the number 2 cornerback on the best receiver. Therefore, you shut down that other side of the field, and you get that quarterback has to go to his other third and fourth options a lot of times, and it causes trouble. So when you have Ramsey and the versatility of a lot of these players, I just look at it. We're going to be fine with that, man. Regardless of Nick Marsh is there or not, I really don't think that's going to be much of an issue. I think you'll see a major adjustment with the DBs, and I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, well, last night, I don't know if you saw this, defensive depth chart comes out for the game, and Kamari Ramsey's at the safety spot. And
great.
It seems like we're going to see a bit of a change, a little bit of what we were used to last season in terms of Ramsey being at that spot and not really playing kind of a nickel linebacker type of position.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be there. But so interested to see how that plays. I think Nick Marsh, and like I said it in my preview on my channel, bro. Like they're like, oh, these people are gonna be questionable. They're gonna be injured. They're not gonna be there. It's like playing against the Lakers, bro. Like people will be on the injury reserve list. They'll be hurt. They'll be throwing up. They'll be ill. As soon as they play the Lakers, they're healthy and ready to go. You feel me? As soon as they're ready to play USC, everybody's ready. Yeah. So Nick Marsh is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
As far as the running backs, I think Frazier is going to be out. I think
Frazier. I heard that leg injury is pretty bad, but I don't think he's going to play.
I think Tullis is going to be in there at the running back spot, and I think that offensive lineman is going to be out.
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing about it. Don't panic if Marsh gets his touchdown, because players that are good enough are going to get theirs regardless. The point is we're going to shut everything else down. That's what's important. And with the way our defensive line is playing, that running back better be ready, man, because there's going to be guys flying up those holes, those gaps like that, man. So I'm not really too worried about it. I'm excited. I think the players, man, the level. Did you see some of those videos of the guys? How excited they are. They want the fans out there. They're fired up. Dude, I haven't seen that in years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like once again, man, I have the utmost, faith in Dan Lynn, respect to his mind and, his game plan and stuff like that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we have some boundary corner that's going to shut down the entire side of the field. Like, I don't see that. Somebody may emerge like that. We may see somebody emerge. I love seeing Marcellus Williams in the fold. I was super high on him. I thought he should have been a starter as the season started up. And we're 3 games into the season, man. I think guys are going to make plays. I love our guys, man. I think the ability we have in the room, how deep the room is, I'm confident. I'm confident. I mean, and these guys' ability, man, to make plays, get comfortable, and be consistent. So excited about that. I think a lot of people, when they see a little bit of what we saw last week, they jump to this is what they jump to, right? And I get it. They jump to like, oh, well, if these receivers at Purdue are doing this, then what's going to happen when we play Notre Dame and Oregon? Because they know the guys that they have, the outside guys that those teams have. And there will be, excuse me, don't get it twisted. There's a game plan for Notre Dame and Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily the same game plan as it was for Purdue. So we just got to think like that. And I think these guys are going to be able to do a good job. And we got a defense, man, that is 14 sacks, leading the country in sacks, giving up 16.7 points per game. Yeah. And we got 6 interceptions. So let's have some perspective here, right?
That's the thing about it, Preston. That's why I am having so much fun watching what we're doing now. Instead of freaking out over this little piece here, oh my God, this guy got burned. Oh my God, what's going to happen when he goes against Marsh? I think the way that we're transitioning into this whole competitive thing where guys are playing for playing time, man. They're out there, they're hungry, but it's a complete unity thing where people are happy for each other's success. And that's the difference I see in this team. People don't care, man. You know what? Next man up, he makes a great play. Boom, they're all high-fiving and hugging each other on the sidelines. That's the difference I see. So that Purdue thing, man, I'm not really worried about that at all. I think the coaches are going to clean it up. I mean, come on, man. Lynn is a scientist, like you said, with the play calling, and he's going to come up with schemes. Regardless of what team we come up with, every team's different.
Yeah,
Michigan State will be different. It'll be a lot more physical. So obviously the game plan is going to change.
And then shouts out Blackie Chain here too is like saying Michigan State's giving up a lot of sacks. Yes, they have given up 8 sacks.
Yeah.
And it kind of coincides with a big tweet that I put out last week that our next two opponents, when you take in account Michigan State and Illinois, they've given up 17 sacks. And have they played a defense? Have they played a defensive line like us? No. Youngstown State, Western Michigan, Duke. I don't know who else Illinois has played, but I know they got a big one today against Indiana. But they haven't played the defensive line that we have, and I don't think they've seen the secondaries or the game plan that we're going to see when they come up against the Trojans. But I'm not going to jump ahead to them. Let's talk Michigan State, but let's really talk about the guys who got after it last week at Purdue. Trojans, man, it's lunch pail time, lunch pail awards last week, man.
I love it. And look at that lunch pail.
Yeah, man, look at the lunch pail.
With the thermos inside, I told you, with the 1,500 milligram sodium thermos in there, filled with top ramen. I love it, bro.
Filled with top ramen from maybe banana. We are, yes, these dudes went to work. Tonight we going to work real late, 8 p.m., but they went to work.
Yeah.
And I just got to be honest, bro. I got an apology. I apologize to Lake McCree. I had been low-key doubting my man Lake McCree, bro.
Yeah.
All off season. And I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna talk about it, bro. I have an apology to Lake McCree because I talked about other guys in the tight end room that I feel like had a little bit more wiggle, had a little bit more athleticism, that I thought were a little bit more dynamic. And Lake McCree has shot out of a cannon, to start this season, man, coming off that injury, right?
Yeah.
He comes out, Purdue, 3 big receptions for 67 yards. Didn't score touchdowns, but those receptions were so big. Those are big time throws by Maava as well. That one up the seam of the middle of the field. The stuff they did on third down and fourth down, getting him the ball, and he looks great, man. Just a great mixture of blocking and receiving. 7 catches, 173 yards and a touchdown, and nearly 25 yards per reception to start this season. So he's looking like one of the better tight ends in the Big Ten right now. And very happy for Lake McCree, man. And I was kind of doubting you, bro. So respect to you, man. Keep it going. I love to see it. And Bishop Fitzgerald, bro. Bishop Fitzgerald is, dude, this really might be one of those ones, bro. Averaging interception a game right now.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does tonight, right? Like, could go crazy tonight. 2 timely interceptions. He's got the pick 6, just valuable piece, man. The highest rated safety when we talk about coverage, PFF grade in the entire country last week. And lucky to have him, bro. Came over from NC State. Didn't really know what to expect, once he got here, but it is definitely exceeding expectations right now.
He reminds me of a former linebacker in the NFL. His name was William Thomas, played for the Eagles, played for the Raiders. The guy would you'd rip your heart out with some bonehead plays once in a while. But then when you needed that one interception, he always came through at the right time, ripping that heart out of the opponent right when they felt they had something going. And that's my boy Bishop. You know what, Bishop? I'll take those 2 blown coverages. Just keep doing what you're doing out there.
Yeah, right. Take a missed tackle or 2, bro. That's all.
And Lake McCree, the only thing, man, I got to tell you, I'm with you on that. I was hating on him a little bit. I didn't like the fact that he was wearing the black socks. I'm like, come on, man. To be with like the rest of the team. But then, he's a senior, he's a veteran, and the guy, we should be proud of him, man. He's doing a great job out there.
Loving it.
Okay, well, going to my guys, right? So Jaden Maava, we're talking about the most disrespected quarterback, one of the most disrespected quarterbacks of college football, folks. And let me tell you why. This guy's leading the Big Ten in passing. When everybody was talking about Drew Aller, the kid from Illinois, all these Altmaier, all these other guys, and people keep forgetting to mention our boy Jaden. He's full of Polynesian fury, bro. The guy's just the way he's commanding the game. I see an adult now. I see a man that's running this team, and he's taking advantage of every situation. And you know what? He's not asking for any credit. He's not asking for any, big hoopla over him. And that's what I love about it. And that's why he's going to continue to be successful. The only thing is there's still 2 boxes that I want Jaden to check off on. And that's to see how he handles a defensive line that rattles him a little bit and how he deals with a little bit of adversity. Does he start panicking and throwing interceptions, or is he going to stay calm and stick to the system? Those are the only 2 boxes left to check for Jaden. And then our boy Eric Gentry, probably one of the best players in college football, one of the most unique players I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I've watched a lot of football since 1970 something. I've been watching football. And let me tell you, he is different. And a lot of times people like to stick to the typical, your typical type of linebacker with a certain amount of size, because every time you venture off to a different type of guy, that, he's this tall, they usually don't pan out. But this guy is different. He's so intelligent. He's everywhere you look. When that ball is there, you'll see number 18 there. You'll see him there making plays, and he is an All-American, and I guarantee you he'll be at least a top 5 pick in the draft.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Gentry is unique. And one thing I will say about Jada Ma'ava, bro, USC Jada just talked to you about saying you were right about Ma'ava. Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. The disrespect is crazy.
Crazy.
Being left off all these lists, not even mentioned. And it's fine, bro. I'm just waiting a couple weeks, man. I'm waiting a couple weeks. I'm waiting till we get that big victory, that nobody thinks we could get. And I have a soliloquy. I got a box of cigars. Like I got a lot to say. But I also I'm tempered, right? I don't want to jump the gun on stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just want to just let's stay quiet.
Yeah. Slow and steady, man.
Yeah, let's stay quiet. Let's keep hating, keep disrespecting, you feel me? The time is coming, brother. The time is coming. And I got a whole hour show of receipts, and we're gonna get into it deep. Once we start racking up these big wins. But I love what Jay is doing, man. I really want to say he's playing the most flawless of any quarterback in America, damn near. But I don't really want to say that. I'm just gonna let it fly. Shouts out to Jaden Lunch Pail Award. Keep going to work and making smart decisions and doing what you got to do.
You know what with Jaden though, the one thing too is really quickly is Jaden. The old Jaden probably would have thrown a couple of picks by now. And just because of trying to force things and not really understanding the offense. And I got to tell you, this is probably, and I know people are saying you're jumping the gun, Paulie, don't say this, but come on, I know good when you see good. I mean, that's like, I see a guy that's matured, and I see Lincoln Riley doing his best job so far in his entire career, as far as transforming a quarterback over from complete, man. Everybody wanted Jaden out. They were trying to replace him. But who's stuck by his side? Mr. Riley over there. He said, you know what? I got him. You guys need to relax a little bit, stop talking, and just let me do my work. And that's what he did, man. And look at this guy. And you know what? We still have a long way to go. It could go, south on us pretty quickly, but I don't see it happening. I see him in that leadership role that, I got to tell you, I'm proud. I'm proud to say that he's our quarterback.
Definitely. And I'm eating, I'm not, you find yourself just being relaxed watching the game.
Yeah.
I feel like early, last season, bro, I was stressed out, bro. You're going into the game. I don't know what you're going to get from this dude, man. I don't know if he's going to try to force something in there. If he's
every throw, you would
it's it's spooky, bro. And just a sense of calm. You can kind of see it. You can see it on the coaches. You can see it on Riley. See it on the offense and really just the team in general. Eric Gentry, right?
Oh.
The thing about Gentry, and I was thinking about this when you told me, who you wanted to give the award to for last week.
Yeah.
In that bowl game against Texas A&M, right? Obviously, coming off the concussion stuff, didn't really seem to really be all there. And then in the first game of the season, it was kind of here and there. He has come on. And he looks exactly as dominant as he did when he was
dominant, man.
Last season. It makes it look easy, man. Constantly in the backfield, constantly around the ball. What I love about this team too is there's multiple hats to the ball, man. Yeah. We may make errors or whatnot, but the effort is there from these guys. Yeah. The effort is there from this defense. Multiple hats to the ball, gang tackling, and getting after it, man. And really, on the defensive side of the ball, they're always just engaged, excited. And it's full effort from this team, man, which I love to see. And Gentry is that guy, man. Yeah. Always fired up, always, pushing forward.
Leading by example, man.
Yeah, leading by example, full leader, guy that's put in his time, at this university, second year in the defense. Yeah. And is man, getting love from Mel Kiper, popping up on draft boards and super proud and super happy for the guy, man.
Yeah. Like I said, he's definitely. The way I look at it, I love the draft. That's my biggest thing, and I wish they would change the combine to where they could make the guys actually wear equipment while they're doing the drills. But But you know what? One thing about him is that I honestly see him as a top 5 pick because he's so unique and he does it so effortlessly. And like I said, the way this defense is swarming, that's how you know there's improvement. I know Desmond, a lot of these guys have been taking heat. Oh, they're not here, there. But you know what? They're all together at the same time, gang tackling people, man. And that's what I love about it. And Gentry's always in it. Always. He leads the team in sacks and tackles.
Yep. Picking up right where he left off.
You got it.
So, yeah, man, let's get into this Michigan State game, right?
Yeah.
So tonight, man, Trojans and the Spartans, man, a funny little matchup of mascots and programs here. It's pretty dope. You know, the Trojans and the Spartans meet in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Michigan State here, right? Currently 3-0. You know, a win over Western Michigan, won that game 23-6. The Boston College game, which I watched the full 2.5 hours of.
Yeah,
won that game 42-40 in overtime against Boston College. I thought that was the team that had the most talent. So I wanted to watch that game to kind of get a feel for what they were bringing to the table on both sides of the ball. And then they went up and played Youngstown State in their most recent matchup, won that game 41-24. And Jonathan Smith here, Jonathan Smith here is pro style, offense, being the shotgun, Childs will be under center, a lot of design runs, play action stuff. And Childs looks a little bit better. He was a guy that threw 11 picks last year, 13 interceptions. And he's looked a lot better, right? He's got 6 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, around 70% completion percentage. Good passer, good runner, but like some of the plays in that Boston College game, him trying to fit the ball into tight windows. I don't know if you saw him run out the pocket and kick the ball while he was kind of trying to jump over the defender and kick the ball out of bounds. Just looks a little bit careless to me, man. And I think Dan Lynn and our defense is going to not allow him to really do exactly what he wants to do in this game. I personally think it would be beneficial for us to turn him into a passer and, shut down the run, make him have to try to pass the ball. And I think that would be beneficial for us as a defense. As far as the running game goes, I think Frazier is for sure going to be out. I think Frazier and Tullis are about the same in my personal opinion when I watch them. Tullis has 112 yards on 18 carries, 6.2 yards a carry. So these are good backs. But like I said last week with Maccabee, bro, nothing that is like going to scare me or I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is a guy that's really going to get out and, I'm really worried about this running game. I have faith in our defensive line and our backers and our defense to kind of contain the run and make them have to pass the ball, especially if the offense is cooking and we get out early at home, then they're eventually, they're going to have to go to the air to try to stay in this game.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the air, Nick Marsh was a guy that was, previously questionable, dealing with a bit of an injury. Their number one receiver. He's got nice speed as well as, strong hands, ability to, catch the ball through contact, finish through contact, pick up yards after contact. He's a good receiver, man. Was in the discussion for, he's all freshman, all American out of the Big Ten. Strong athletic dude, like the tight end and Masonis. But how do you feel about this offense that Michigan State is bringing to the table?
It's the way I looked at it, man. I thought about it, and Bob, our friend Bob Springer here, says that Frazier's in.
Yeah, Frazier might be in. Yeah,
he might be in. So regardless of who we were going to face, I just felt that the game plan probably is going to lean more towards, like you said, making him a passer, where he tends to be a little bit more erratic that way. But he does kind of have that erratic style. That's one thing about Child. He's always done that. And obviously Marsh is Marsh. Whether we give up a touchdown to him or not, I just think our ability of our defensive line to wreak havoc up front like that. And then Gentry's the X factor. That guy's going to be all over the place. And look for Kamari. Kamari's going to be back to the old Kamari, making big plays up there. I think he takes advantage of a couple of bad decisions by the quarterback. And do that. One thing about Michigan State that I really haven't heard a lot of people talk about is I don't think the secondary has ever faced a set of wide receivers like ours before. And that's going to be a major eye opener right there. And good morning to my baby girl Chloe. I love you, man.
Good morning.
Checked in right now. Anyway, but yeah, that's my take on that. I feel if we go in and we allow them, Preston, to ugly the game up on us, and we don't come out strong, come out hard, and prove our point immediately, then it's going to give them hope. And next thing you know, I do not want to be in one of those fourth quarter games where we're fighting for every little inch and we're in a battle with them. We need to kind of just because impose our will on them. Get, the secondary just expose them right away, and that's where Makai I think is going to have a big game as well today. And because like I said, they've never seen anything like the alpha and the omega. I'm telling you, America, pay attention to the two best wide receivers I've seen in I don't know how many years. Hands down, two of the best.
Eliminate. Hey, okay, so yeah, bro, that is a fact. I watched that Boston College game. They could not stop Boston College wide receiver core. And Boston, I was live tweeting. I'm like, bro, these dudes are heavy-footed, slow-footed at the cornerback spot. I'll get into the defense now. I know Martinez, which is probably their best DB. He played in the Youngstown game. He had a couple snaps, and he is going to be healthy for this USC game. They were kind of nursing him back to health to prepare him for this game. I definitely would agree. I mean, when we get to the impact players, you'll see who I think is going to make an impact tonight. But defensively, linebackers, Jordan Hall, leading tackler, right? I think he's got around 27 tackles for them, 2 sacks, a forced fumble. Off the edge, I like Lafayette, Hawaiian cat. He's got 2 sacks for him coming off the edge. And then interior guys in Jalen Thompson and Grady Kelly. Grady Kelly transferred over from Florida State. Pretty athletic, nice defensive tackle. Those guys are not world beaters. They're not the biggest guys, but they're solid, Big Ten players. And then Alante Brown, number 0. He's another guy that said to be out. I don't know if he's going to be out, but he's a big time threat in the return game. So that is the issue with that. And then, I mean, talk about the O-line, man, which I talked about earlier. They've given up 8 sacks so far, and to a bunch of defenses that are not like ours. So I mean,
one of their O-linemen is out for the season as well, I think, too. One of their best O-linemen.
Yeah, one of the O-linemen. So I think as far as the offense, I don't think we'll have really too many issues operating around these guys, man. I think the strategies that our play callers have in Lincoln Riley, the ability to use every weapon that we have on our roster and on our field, every play, every series, whether it's a tight end, whether it's the multiple, the different types of running backs and the skill sets that they have. Obviously, you have the great wide receivers outside. And I'm loving this offensive line, man. I'm loving, the energy that Killian O'Connor is coming with. So I'm like, hey, this is a great day to kick somebody's ass today. And another thing, we talk about Jacoby Lane and the amazing catches that he makes and, his, NFL future. Bro, he has really developed into a legitimate leader. I don't know if you really I see him firing these guys up pre-game, every game.
Yeah.
And just the footage of him, pre-game, post-game, during the game. He is a legitimate leader, man. And seems to be one of the straws that stirs the drink for this team on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. And really just as a team in general, bro. I'm really proud of what Jacoby has turned into.
Yeah, and it's such a with Makai and Jacoby, and now look at the influence they're having. So Makai's more of that silent leader, leads by example. He's going to show people his toughness, and that's going to inspire his teammates. Jacoby was blessed with the gift of gab. The guy can talk. He can inspire people. He has the ability to like I said, inspire with his words. And he's out there, and he really stepped it up this year. I actually got the chills right now talking about this. It's how fired up I am. And look at what they've done with Tanuk. Just by them leading by example, look at what they're doing to these young freshmen, man. They got these guys believing they can come in and compete right now and play at a high level. And let me tell you, Tanuk Hines might be he might be that guy that probably breaks the game open today. Who knows? But he looked really, really sharp last game. And he owes it all to those 2 guys that are in front of him, man. They're leading by example. They work hard. They're never out there boozing it up, getting crazy out there partying. They're all about work and all about working out in the weight room, being solid leaders. And you know what? They're amazing, man. They're leading by example, and I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on the weekends, but they look good on Saturdays. But what I will say is and I'll talk about it. I had a question that was answered by Lincoln Riley last week in his, coach's.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, you don't got to congratulate me. There's no problem, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, I love that.
But the reason why I bring this up is because I asked him, I was like, okay, how do you feel that, all these guys in your first recruiting class are being so impactful now, man? We're in year 4. We see Jacoby, we see Makai. we see the guys on the defensive side of the ball. We see the offensive linemen, right? Whether it's Elijah Page, whether it's Tobias, whether it's a few other guys that were in that class. They're not coming to my mind right now. But like he talked about the leadership, man. Seeing guys like that, a part of that first class, turn into great leaders as far as great players. And I think Jacoby is really that dude. Blackie Chan, man, yours is gonna be answered.
Blackie Chan,
I don't know.
We love you, man. What are you talking about?
You're probably next. Next week. And yeah, Brown Springer talked about Jacoby seemed doubtful. I did see that. I'll be very surprised if Jacoby Lane doesn't play tonight. I would actually be surprised, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he doesn't, like, that doesn't really affect my confidence too much. But like, I would be surprised if we don't see Jacoby out there tonight. But let's get into the impact players for tonight's game. Yeah, man. I gotta start easy, bro. Like, cause I watched that Boston College game. I'm like, these dudes ain't Makai. They're not Lemonade. They're not even to Nook Hines, bro. And we got to the emoji where I put the lemon for Makai Lemon, the 8 for Jacoby. I think to Nook Hines is gonna be like the little like the lightning bolt. I think that's the emoji for Nook Hines now. The lightning bolt. Let's push that forward. Blackie Chan, let's go on USC Twitter. Lightning bolt is at least to Nook Hines.
Blackie Chan has me cracking up right now.
Yeah. Yo, Blackie Chan, the first time I went into you guys' show, like, and I saw your name, I was a little like it caught me off guard a little bit. I'm like, bro, is Blackie Chan? Blackie? Then like I looked at you and I kind of understood where you come from. You feel me? Your heritage, your ethnicity, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with it.
No, I was cool with it, man. I loved it. I thought it was so unique.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
I love those unique names like that.
Yeah. It threw me off a little bit. All right, so impact players, Makai Lemon. I got Makai going for over 120 yards and a touchdown tonight, man. I think this is a big. I think this is a big game for Makai.
Yeah.
The DBs are impressive, and that's how I feel about that. I keep it simple, short and sweet with that. And then impact players, man. We saw the depth chart come out last night.
Yeah.
Seems like Kamari is gonna be back in his position, most likely. Sellis was up there at one of the number 1 DB spots.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Sellis make those big plays in the spring game a couple years ago. We've seen him make big plays in practice, highlights, video for practice and whatnot. And yeah, man, I think he makes a big play tonight. Maybe he picks off a ball headed for Nick Marsh, man. Like, I would love to see that. I want to see Tim Prangley on the sidelines doing backflips about his somebody from his high school, getting a big play in the Coliseum.
Dude, the Bosco alum, Tim will be so fired up.
Bosco alum, see Tim Prangley do some backflips on the sidelines, and hopefully he sees the opportunity and makes a big play tonight, bro.
Pulling a hamstring while he's doing it, I love it, man.
Right, he's take a picture real quick, a little backflip. Yeah, man. So that's how I feel.
So Eli Sanders to me is going to be one of my impact players because Eli proved something to me last week. He proved that he has that one ability that a lot of guys don't have, and that is to bring in the straight lightning, man. The ability to hit that hole with such fury, and you know what? And he does have a little bit of power on him. His catching is underestimated, his ability to catch the ball. But you know what? His running is what people are disrespecting. And the way he came out and he kind of set the tone when we were kind of lagging a little bit in the running game, I got to tell you, I was so happy for him. And I think he's going to be that impact guy. I think he's going to, when we're kind of, dragging a little ass here and there, I think he's going to have that ability to come in and really make an impact with his that fire that he brings when he comes in. And Kamari Ramsey, to me, I think they're going to finally get back to seeing the old Kamari. From what I read, he's going to be back in his natural position. And that just gives him the ability to be out there doing his thing, man. And that's making big plays. And that's, just so versatile and so great, man. And you know what? I know people say like Sue and a lot of these guys are saying you're hurting your draft stock by being a team player. You know what, man? That just shows me even that much more. I think an NFL team will be blessed to have a guy like Kamari Ramsey. To me, like I said, Kamari Ramsey, he's my favorite, bro. My favorite Trojan. And I love him, and I got to tell you, you're looking at a possible late first round pick right here in the NFL draft. This guy's amazing. He's gonna have a big game today.
Yeah, man. Eli, like You are so right. And we were texting during that Purdue game,
Yeah.
like, dude, that electricity was different, bro, and we needed it, right? And there's something to talk about in the chat. We have like a four-headed monster in the backfield for sure. And yeah, like Eli Sanders is different, bro. Just that electricity, that speed, that get up and go, and he's out of there, man. Really elite. And Kamara, man, but Kamara being Kamara, bro. I think, and like you said, like those NFL teams are gonna see just the type of character that he has.
Oh, no doubt, no
Mixed
doubt.
with the type of athlete, bro. That's what the NFL is all about, bro. You can be the best athlete. You could slide to the late rounds if you have character issues, and we know Kamara doesn't have that issue. So yeah, man, happy for him. Hopefully he has a big one tonight and he's a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out. But now we're gonna get into some little fun discussions, some personal thoughts, that have been going on in the college football season. I'm gonna start mine off with my biggest surprises and biggest disappointments of this college football season.
Yep.
And I'm gonna start my biggest surprises, bro. And I'm gonna start with Texas A&M, bro. Texas A&M, never been a fan. I always see them, ranked on these leaderboards and these AP polls. They're always high. They're always a top 25 team, especially after we beat them in the bowl game last season. I'm like, why people love Texas A&M so much?
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, bro. Like that was a signature win last week against Notre Dame, bro. And Texas A&M looks to be a very good team on both sides of the ball. And Marcel Reed, with 9 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, might be playing the best at the quarterback spot in the entire country right now. Like,
he's really talented.
I think he's literally playing I love Jada Ma'ava. Jada Ma'ava's right there. Also, kind of keep people sleeping on it until we really can talk our stuff. But Marcel Reed is really looking like a ball player right now at Texas A&M. And that was a signature win at Notre Dame. And he made some plays, bro. Like, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
Very impressed with what Texas A&M is doing right now. Florida State seem to be dead in the water. The energy and tally right now is on 10, man. Obviously started that game against Bama, came out, balling, taking care of business. Good new quarterback, new scheme, lots of new players. Our former Deuce Robinson's over there making a couple plays here and there. And I think Norvell might have saved himself, man. He donated to NIL. He's kind of putting his foot in the water, and I think he might have saved himself, man. They got to keep it going. One thing I will say is the Florida State Miami game this year is going to be a special one. I think that's going to be a very, very good game if these teams each continue to win. That game will be played October 4th in Tallahassee. Yeah. And if these teams are both undefeated, when that gets underway, it's going to be a big time victory.
College football needs that, Preston. They need those rivalries, man. I mean, it was sad enough for us to lose Cal and Stanford and teams like that, man. But to see them to be able to bring that back, man, it means a lot to college football.
Yeah. And Blackie Chan says over Mateer. I mean, bro. Me personally, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think the ceiling is a little higher on Marcel Reed. I like Mateer. Mateer is cool, but I don't know. Just my personal opinion. We could pick and choose. Georgia Tech, man. You beat me on this bet. You beat me on this bet last week. Georgia Tech Clemson game, and Clemson is definitely tied into my disappointments. We're gonna see that in a second. Georgia Tech, bro. Like they keep proving me wrong. I've lost multiple bets to Georgia Tech. I don't know what's going on, but Georgia Tech just wins the game. Haynes King is just figures out a way to get it done, bro. He could be limping on one leg. Yeah. He figures out a way to get it done, and the guys around him are carrying him, and they're supporting him to victory, man. Georgia Tech continues to win. I think you may see it's going to be tricky, right? Because Florida State, Georgia Tech, Miami, those are all ACC teams.
Yeah, they're all playing well. That coaching staff at Georgia Tech, Preston, I got to tell you, talk about getting their team prepared and utilizing it with the talent they have. They're always prepared, and they play disciplined and sound football, and they just keep at it regardless if they're down by a score or if they're up. You never see that team panic. So they're playing really well. Like I said, the last time I've seen them play this well was when Bobby Hamilton was at quarterback for Georgia Tech. That's the last time. But anyway, I'll let you get back at it. Sorry, but I just jump in there.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt, man. Vanderbilt, like that game last week, South Carolina Vanderbilt was just a disappointment.
Yeah, so Preston froze up on us. Are you there, Preston?
I'm here. Can you see me? Am I good? Am I good? Am I
Yeah, I
here?
can
Am I
see now.
here?
Yeah, we had a little glitch there. Sorry, guys, about that.
Yeah, man, we get
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
technical difficulties over here sometimes. So yeah, like Vanderbilt, they that's another team. I'm not high on Vanderbilt. I know you're a little higher on Vanderbilt and Pavi over
Mhm.
there, and they are doing a good job, bro. They got a serious offensive
Yeah,
line. They got a leader who's got
yeah,
experience, and they're gonna run it. It's gonna be fun to see how this all plays out,
yeah.
right? Vandy's
I'm
number 20 in
enjoying
the
it.
country right now. They got LSU at
Mm.
home. They got to go on the road and face Bama. They got to go on the road and face Texas, who doesn't look good at all right now. So
Mhm.
we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see how
Yeah.
good these teams are. But I'm definitely surprised by these four
Yeah.
programs right now. And
Every oh, go ahead. Sorry, Preston.
no. Finish. You got it.
No, so the thing about Vanderbilt and why I'm so high on them, it's just not Pavia because the guys, I can't begin to tell you how rare it is to find leaders like this, man. But it just every so often college football needs a team, kind of like Boise when they beat Oklahoma that one year. You got that one team in Vanderbilt kind of fits that mold where I feel they can beat anybody in the country. And right now they're on that mission where they're believing and they're doing really well. And I mean, look what they did to South Carolina. People had South Carolina blowing them out.
Bro. Well, that's the problem, bro. And really,
Yeah.
what? And I'll get to my disappointments, bro. I really should have South Carolina offensive line on this
Oh
list.
man.
South Carolina could have
Yeah.
won that game, bro. You have probably, I mean, the highest rated quarterback prospect going on all these draft boards like in the country right now,
Yeah.
Norris Sellers. You can't protect the guy, bro, and you get your quarterback hurt, bro. It's just a
Yeah.
shame. Like
Yeah.
it was sad to go. I wanted to see a great duel between South Carolina and Vanderbilt last week, and we weren't able to really see that. But biggest disappointments, man. Clemson. It's like Clemson 1-2. They unranked. They got Syracuse today, which who knows how that could go. To be honest, I don't
Yeah.
know how that could go.
They're so Jekyll and Hyde, man. This team has always been like this, and a lot of it is Dabo and the ego that of adjusting and adapting to the new way of college football, kind of like the way Riley was able to. I mean, he's stuck in his old ways, man. I'm surprised they're not running the wishbone over in Clemson because Dabo's just come on, you got to get with it, man. You got all the talent in the world. What are you doing?
Yeah, and now Dabo's snapping. Dabo's like, oh, if y'all want to fire me, then you fire me, man. Good luck winning. You know what I'm saying? Like Dabo's snapping. He's getting fiery.
Oh, look. He wants to go to Alabama from what I hear, right?
I don't know what he's got to do, but he ain't winning. Like that's what I do know. And what's up with the defensive line? Like what? I don't get it, bro. Like
yeah, they're a little soft.
I was wrong on all that. I was wrong on all that. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they're gonna turn it around, but I wouldn't be surprised they lost to Syracuse today. And we're
I have Syracuse winning that game. And the thing with Clemson is you look at the way that they're developing players to the next level. Some of those guys are soft in the NFL, man. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just a fact. They're just they've turned out to be mediocre kind of players when a lot of people expected Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and all those guys to be superstars. They're just there. And that's yeah. So I'm with you on that one, man. Don't even get me started on the next one right there. That one just kills me.
Yeah, bro. We're talking like I don't know what's going on, but Texas. First of all, Clemson, we're talking about. I thought there was a team in Clemson that might have been a national champion.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy. And this is a 1-2 team. And we're sitting here today. You're picking Syracuse to beat them. I'm on the fence. Like I don't know. They should beat Syracuse, but I don't even know if they could because they were supposed to beat Georgia Tech last week. So Texas, and Arch. Now let's start with Texas in general. Have not looked dominant. Have really not even looked like that special as a team this year on either side of the football. Arch looks like he's regressing in real time, like on a weekly basis, like regression.
Yeah.
And this was a topic that we had 2 weeks ago where I said I think he's going to bounce back. He seems to be getting worse.
Worse. The arm angles, everything, man. It's bad. It's bad right now, bro.
23% of his passes are off target.
Yeah.
He has a QBR of 25. Like it's kind of crazy, bro. Like I'm kind of worried about the cat. Like I don't really understand what's going on. And like we're gonna talk quarterbacks like after this, but yeah, big time disappointment. And I wasn't even a person that was coming out saying, "Oh, this guy's gonna be generational." I just
Yeah.
thought that he was going to be good, and I thought this was an NFL quarterback. I never said he
Yeah.
was going to be generational. I was down for the Manning mania. I was a big time Peyton Manning
Yeah.
fan growing up. I'm down for it, bro. Another Manning, let's get it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, man, I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know what's going on, but like this is a guy that sits for a year and a half.
Year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years sits. You see him in glimpses. He looks athletic. He looks like he can make a play.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of big time game experience, a smidgen. A few snaps here and there, and just has really not looked good at all, man.
No, I'm with you on that because the one red flag for me, and this by us talking all the time. I told you when he couldn't beat out Quinn, that's why I wasn't buying into the hype. He couldn't. He had almost year and a half, 2 years to beat out Quinn. He couldn't do it, and so now everybody's like, well, you need to give him time. You've had 2 years, bro. You don't need any more. You're either the man or you're not, and so. And a lot of it, people are equating it to the competition that he's went up against at Newman, a private school. I told you that video that I saw, it was so shocking. I look like one of the defensive linemen chasing him with 6.2 speed. Those guys were just so slow chasing him, and he's over there just dominating these guys. So maybe the level of competition is probably a bit too much. I don't know. Maybe the expectations of the world, bro. This guy has more pressure than anyone in college football, possibly. And just to live up to expectations like that, his family, all of it. So I don't know. I'm kind of worried about him, to be honest with you. He doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Especially with Sark over there. Like,
you
think Sark is like a quarterback guy, could get people right, but it's like I don't know. DJ Lagway, bro. Another one. Like we're gonna talk quarterbacks, man. Another one. 5 interceptions last week. He has 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions right now on the season, bro. He is averaging 6 yards a completion. 6 yards a completion, and it's just not clicking. And this is supposed to be Billy's savior. Like this guy stepped in last year, and probably saved Billy his job last year. And I think today is a big opportunity. I know there's game day here at University of Miami. I was watching before our show started. And we're going to see. But that Miami defense might be the best defense in America right now. It definitely might be the best defensive line, top 3 defensive line in the country. And it's going to be a tough contest for DJ Lagway, bro, on how he maneuvers that. And UCLA, we can throw Nico into this. I know we all hate UCLA, but when Nico went to UCLA, I'm like, yo, UCLA is that might be kind of a fun game this year. You feel me? They got Nico over there. He might be throwing stuff around, running around, making some plays. Obviously, we know what happened to the homie Deshaun last week. You know what I'm saying? They got him out of there. And Nico does not look good. He's trying to figure it out. UCLA is terrible, bro.
Oh, bad.
Probably the worst Power 4 team in the entire country. Bad. Terrible. Yeah.
New Mexico smoked them, dude. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, like I think modern day would whoop down on UCLA right now. Straight up. Straight up. No doubt. And that's it, bro. Those are my disappointments, bro. I was expecting a little bit more from UCLA.
Yep.
Which is funny, but yeah, they ain't doing it.
All right. My biggest surprises and disappointments, it's a lack of respect for Mayava. And I, people say, oh, you're pushing it too fast. There's still a lot of season left. You're over here tooting this whole. I'm not asking for people to kiss his rear end, man. I'm just asking for people to acknowledge the fact that he is the leader in passing right now in the Big Ten when people expected, all these other guys to just be on a certain level. And Jaden was just an afterthought. I want people to at least give him a little bit of credit, man, for the improvement he's made. And he's been getting that. There's some media outlets out there that have been giving him a lot of it. But the one thing that's really been a big disappointment for me, because I was so excited about it before the year, was B-Jack, man. I had a lot of faith in this kid. Just what, the never complaining, always in there, pouring his heart out, working out as hard as he can. And I really wanted to see him show his ability this year. And hopefully he can get back. But it hasn't been looking good for him. So I'm wishing you nothing but the best, B-Jack. And I don't want to say you're a disappointment. I'm saying I'm just sad that I haven't been able to see you, just show what you got, man, and show everybody what you're all about.
Yeah, I think he'll be back soon. I hope it's not too serious.
Yeah.
I don't really remember hearing. I don't know, Black and Channer and maybe anybody in chat, if you really heard about B-Jack this week. I didn't
Yeah.
watch instant analysis or like
Yeah.
some practice stuff for the last couple of days, but hopefully he's coming back, man. I don't think it was that serious. But let's talk a little bit about the quarterback play, bro, a little bit. And we have a special guest who I'm gonna bring in here after we get through these next two topics. We're gonna talk about it again, kind of get his take on these things. But just quarterback development in general, right? Like kind of like what we talked about, bro. Like I think it's a combination of a few things.
Mhm.
I think it's 7-on-7 culture.
Yes.
I think it's the transferring of young football players in high school to be first. In high school, guys going to 2-3 high schools, maybe even 4 high schools at points. Then transferring when they get to the college level.
Mhm.
The dumbing down of the offenses, man. The dumbing down of the schemes, the playbooks, and just trying to utilize guys' natural, athletic ability, not really learning how to make the right plays.
Mhm.
And I think that is coupled with 7-on-7 culture as well. And then when you talk about defenses, bro, defenses in general, we talk about defensive coordinators, game planning, and just the athletes on the defensive side of the ball. They're getting faster, they're getting stronger. You see 6'5", 260-pound, guys that are standing up now, getting after the quarterback. They're 6'4" corners, with length that run 4.5. Like, so the defensive side of the ball is just loading up, getting better, getting more athletic, more schemes, to utilize different athletes, more athletic bodies than we've ever seen in the history of the game. And I don't know why you see a regression in a guy like Arch Manning, that had time to sit under a quarterback guy like Sark. I don't know why you see Garrett Nussmeier in that Florida game, bro. Who Garrett Nussmeier was on NFL draft boards as well. But he throws a ball across his body on third down. He could easily just throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
And Brian Kelly's looking, and I feel Brian Kelly's turning red like a tomato. And I'm looking at Brian. I'm like, bro, why the hell did you throw that pass? Like, bro, I was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, as an NFL prospect, like, why are we regressing, to making these plays and making these decisions? Like, it's just strange to me. And then I look at the NFL, obviously, our beloved Caleb Williams, love Caleb, love what he did with at USC. But he seems to, like, in situations, just not take the layup, bro. Just hit the guy. The guy's right there. Just hit the guy. Why are you trying to force this around? And you may make a beautiful play when you run out the pocket and you're throwing across your body, 35 yards down the field down the sideline. But guys aren't able to make the simple pass. Like Gronowski last night wasn't able to hit the guy for the touchdown right at the goal line, bro. He's short arms to throw. Like it's just strange to me, bro. I have you stepping right now. Like I was watching NFL ball when I was a kid, bro. Brady, Manning, Favre. Who else was
Oh, you're talking about quarterback? That's what I was just gonna jump. I'm just gonna jump on that. Yeah, right now.
They were all Breeze. They were always so consistent. Mahomes it looks like a different player every week. A lot of these guys are just my guy Tua. Don't even get me started. Like, how do you feel about this, bro?
So the one thing I'm really, this is a passionate topic of mine, Preston. When I talk to friends and people about this, when it comes to the development of quarterbacks. First of all, this is why USC plays such a vital role in today's football world, is because you have one individual in Lincoln Riley that actually knows how to prepare you for life as a quarterback at a major conference school, and also how to develop at the next level as well. And these guys are just kind of thrust into situations now. I know there's a lot of money riding on a lot of these schools, and they need these guys to come in and perform immediately. But you look at their transition, a lot of them, when they go to that next level, the NFL, you look at the past players, and this is what the NFL was about. It didn't matter how great of a quarterback you were, Mr. Caleb Williams or guys like that. You're going to sit and you're going to learn. Steve McNair, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, Tom Brady. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I can go on and tell you about guys. Michael Vick. They all sat and learned, and hence the reason why they were able to develop into solid NFL quarterbacks. And I think now they're just getting thrust into the thing, and they're not even developed coming into it. Look at Anthony Richardson, prime example. And then for every Anthony Richardson, you have there's a Trevor Lawrence who that came in, wasn't developed properly, just did everything on athletic ability at the Clemson level, comes in, thinks he can do that at the NFL. It's not happening. So that's why USC is playing such a big role and why quarterbacks are wanting to come here because there's no better person to develop you than Lincoln Riley. And a lot of these guys are trying to catch up and they're trying to find that guy. Sark kind of had that reputation for a while there, but really, I never really saw Sark develop quarterbacks, the way people think he did. I think he got a little bit more credit for that than what I think he deserves. But I mean, that's just my opinion. But Lagway, another thing too, you thrust him in a situation. That's a lot of pressure on this young man. Year 2. I mean, look at the regression he's made there. I mean, I don't know if it's a physical thing or just the pressure of having everything on your shoulders and having to run that. I don't know what's going on there, but there's a lot of guys that are really struggling right now, and it's transitioning into the NFL.
Yeah. And, I put Maava on here because this is an example of a guy that, and granted, Maava's a little older than these guys. So credit there. But Maava is progressing, and he looks to be such an improved quarterback over what we saw over the last couple years. Yeah. So it's working some places. Hey, come to USC, you feel me? Because you know how to develop quarterbacks. But I don't know what's going on in Texas and Florida and LSU and all these other places. But
that's what I'm getting at, Preston, is that I think what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing a trend with these guys wanting to come play here because they want to reclaim that they want to get their careers back on track. And I can easily see these guys coming back begging Lincoln, "Hey man, I need your help. Let's do it." So I mean, don't be surprised if you start seeing that a lot more.
Julian Lewis. All right, so so yeah, man, we're gonna have some fun here before we bring in our guests. We're gonna talk our top football movies, bro. So
oh my god,
my number one football movie, bro, gotta be Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah, okay.
Remember the Titans was so special as a child. It's bringing in social issues, race. The game of football, how it could bring us all together, man, and build friendships and, build camaraderie with your neighbors, even if you're not the same skin color, even if you're not from the same place, you know what I'm saying? So Remember the Titans gotta be my number one. Any Given Sunday, brother. I had actually a relative, that's in that movie. He's also a professional wrestler as well. But Any Given Sunday, bro, that Al Pacino speech, bro. Oh my God, legendary. And it was in Miami. Jamie Foxx. Any Given Sunday is top tier, bro. Friday Night Lights. Also, I think is underrated, bro. Permian High School, whatever. You got Boobie Miles. Just really showed the fabric of high school football. Texas football. Shutting the city down and really caring so much about a high school football program, like a lot of these places in Texas and in the South do. The Program, which was another
I love
crazy. It shows the good and the bad.
Yeah, Halle Berry was in it.
Woo, Halle Berry. There's some bad ones. The other girl's bad too. That's a really good movie. And then The Blind Side, which I think people hate on. Obviously that situation got real weird in real life, like in terms of Michael Orr, I think suing the family that adopted him and all that stuff like that. But that movie was dope because I think like Saban was in it, Coach O was in it, like I think Phil Fulmer was in it. Like it brought in a lot of real football coaches and stuff like that. And I was in high school when that movie came out. It was a good story, bro, about kind of coming up the slums. A family giving you opportunity and making the most of it, bro. So those are my top 5 football movies. In the chat, let us know what your top movies are.
Dude, okay, obviously The Program. What better? I mean, you know why I like The Program, to be honest with you? It had realistic kind of like football plays where guys weren't spinning around in the air 15 times and falling. It was like kind of like real plays, and then Latimer with the steroids and then the 1990s kind of style with their partying and all that. It was just a lot of fun to me. Gave you kind of a glimpse into that. Right? It's one of the most underrated football movies. Paper Lion. I'm an old guy, but let me tell you, if you get a chance, it's a true story about George Plimpton. He's a writer, and he tried out for the Detroit Lions back in the day, acted as if he was a Canadian quarterback, and he came in and tried. But there's a lot of Hall of Famers on this movie. Joe Schmidt, one of my favorite linebackers, 1953 Detroit Lion linebacker, Hall of Famer, one of the best linebackers in history of football. He plays coach in that movie. Alex Karras is on there as well. You got Vince Lombardi makes an appearance. Great movie. Sit back and watch it if you're a geek, man. The Replacements, man. Anytime Gene Hackman's a coach, you got to like the movie. So that's all I got to say about that. Keanu plays a good quarterback in that. Yeah. Rudy.
Bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, before everybody found out that the guy was a stupid idiot. The only reason I like Rudy is when the coach gets pissed at Vince Vaughn. He says, "If you had half the heart as Rudiger, You would have made All-American. That's the only time. That's the only point I like. And then North Dallas 40. It's one of my era. Is all about those movies. The Porky's, all those crazy movies. And North Dallas 40 is a great football version of a pro team that is just wild, man. These guys are smoking pot, drinking booze, women. It's just a comedic movie, man, and it's great. It has Nick Nolte in it from the 70s, but it might not be for everybody, but I like it.
I love it, bro. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Paulie's top football movies. I love it, man. Replacements is a good one. Keanu was balling in that one. I like that movie a lot. And last time before we bring our guests in, man, UCLA head coach candidates, man. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna be very serious about this, man. I think UCLA should definitely hire, the people on my list. They do not hire my number one option. Like, what are you doing, bro? I think, with Coach Alex Grinch at UCF, he is a great defensive-minded coach, bro. Probably one of the greatest defensive minds in the country right now. He's bright. He's ahead of the game. He's gonna be in the NFL very soon. So UCLA, if you have an opportunity, man, get this guy now. You could get him at a bargain. He's familiar with the West Coast already. Spend time in the recruiting grounds around the West Coast, and is a great coach, bro. A great person. His team respects him, and yeah, man, just football type of guy. Maurice Jones-Drew, obviously, UCLA alum. He's sitting back, doing some broadcasting work where I think he want to get back in the fold, kind of bring the program back to the as competitive as they were when he was there. And then we got, old Sunshine, little Jerry Neuheisel here, man. He's putting in time at UCLA. He should step in and get a job, man. He's a realistic candidate, man.
Yeah.
Give a little Sunshine opportunity, man. So those are my candidates.
You know what? And mine, I honestly think UCLA needs to consider, good old Coach Watson Brown. He's the all-time leader in losses in the history of college football. But you know what? He has a lot of experience, UCLA. I think you should bring him on, man. Forget about those 211 losses. The guy knows his football, okay? And then Mac Brown, who knows, man, if that guy even can walk around anymore. But you know what? The guy's always looking for a job. He's a good guy. You know what? Why not give Mac Brown a shot? But then my sleeper, he's an LA boy. This guy will probably destroy your program with HR violations. But JB deserves a chance, maybe. Why don't you give him a chance? Smitty could be the offensive coordinator. You have a whole team there. There you go. That's who I think UCLA needs to hire.
Exactly. And JB's from Compton, LA guy. He used to be homies with the UCLA basketball players, and my dad was coaching at UCLA. Like, bring in JB, great guy. So, and we're gonna get a little bit more serious, man. We're gonna bring in one of my guys, a guy that was called into a show that I was on, maybe about a year and a half ago. He's got great college football insight. He's currently in school, studying sports journalism at the University of Auburn, but a big time USC Trojans fan, man. My guy, Kobe's Corner, bro. Welcome to the show, Kobe. How you doing?
What's going on, Kobe? Fight on, brother.
Fight on. You guys having a good day so far?
Oh, you better believe it, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
he's having a good time, man. Join it. So, man, want to get your opinions, man. I've seen you, kind of speak on USC and stuff like that. How do you feel about how we're looking, this early in the season? And are you pleased with what's happening? How successful do you see this team being as the season continues on?
So if you asked me preseason, I thought 8-4 sounded about right. But with how the offensive line has performed, especially in the run game so far, and then the front seven, in my opinion, is head and shoulders better than last year's front seven. You're starting to see that come into fruition with this new defensive staff with bigger bodies in the trenches. And I think it was Alicia Deartola with Reign of Troy. She had mentioned that through 3 games so far, they already have 2/3 of their sack total from last year, and they lead the Big Ten in sacks. That's huge to me, pressuring the quarterback, getting in the backfield. So in regards to surprises for that, it's definitely been the front seven and the offensive line play, especially because if you looked at last year's offensive depth chart on paper, I thought we had more talent and more blue chip talent, so I wasn't sure how the offense was going to perform. But that's been a pleasant surprise. I've been very pleased with that. Hopefully that can continue to be the case, especially going into Big Ten play, greater Big Ten play. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was the biggest question, right? As far as for me, it was the offensive line play. We kind of expect, in the offseason, there's a lot of news and positivity around this defense, and the defense is going to be so much better, so much improved. And yeah, man, I'm pretty happy with where they're at. We're going to see, a lot more competition in these next couple weeks, and especially next week, we're going to see, really how good this team can really be moving forward. But I want to ask you another question, bro, because you called in to the Voice of College Football when me and my guy Tim Prangley were on the show, and that was the first time I spoke with you. And you kind of talked about USC's inability to recruit the Trinity League. And, they were kind of whiffing on a lot of players, particularly defensive talent coming out of Southern California. And how do you feel about, man, my guy, our GM, Chad Bowden, and what he's been able to do for USC and, really just, putting up that wall around California?
Hey, for that to come to fruition and then let alone to poach your arch rival's general manager after making a national title run, a near national title run, and come to SoCal because he basically just said, hey, it's a better job, it's a better opportunity, it's a better program. And to see us be able to go back in our backyard and try to reestablish those pipelines, to me, that's everything. That creates culture, that creates continuity, that builds the pipeline, that creates chemistry, especially when you bring in more SoCal guys. Not that we shouldn't dip into the South, dip into the Midwest, especially Florida, and go get more talent when you can. But a lot of these kids, they grew up playing 7-on-7 Pop Warner football together. And so when you have elite 4- and 5-star guys like Tom, who I think is severely underrated if you look at his, recruiting ranking, or and then you pair him with the Jamie Whitfield from Central Texas and throw those two in the center, I think they're going to make instant impacts as freshmen to already add to this defensive talent. That's what you want to see from USC because Clay Helton, he was a great guy. He obviously, in my opinion, he wasn't a USC caliber coach, but during his tenure here, you started to see guys, kind of pull back from USC and say, hey, why wouldn't I go to a Georgia or an Ohio State or a Clemson where they're consistently competing for national titles? So the goal for USC, you're a blue blood program. You want to reestablish that. You have to hold on to that in-state talent and see it come to fruition. So,
Kobe, I have a quick question, Kobe. I cannot get my eyes. I can't stop my eyes from fixating on this picture you have in the back over there. Is that Jim Thorpe or is that Babe Ruth?
which one?
The one on the right side of the deer.
Oh,
the very top. The old picture. The old black and white up there behind you.
Oh, yeah, that's Babe Ruth.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, obviously, I couldn't tell. I'm like, is this guy a Yankee fan like me or is he a Dodger fan?
Oh,
but no,
I love
Kobe, I had a quick
Yeah.
question. So obviously, two things. The one thing I always had faith in Lincoln's ability to everybody kind of doubted if he could adapt and really give up that whole thing about the whole this is I not caring about the defense and then finally turning a page and hiring probably one of the best coaching staffs in there. But tell me a little bit about I want to know your opinion on what you've seen as far as Lincoln Riley evolving as a coach, man.
So for starters, we failed to recognize that when he took over for Stoops at Oklahoma, he was the youngest head coach in the FBS at the time. He was only 33, so he's still learning. He just touched 40. He's got years of football ahead of him, hopefully, and I think he needed to give the keys over to someone who was a defensive mastermind like D'Anton Lynn. We all saw what he did in year one at UCLA. Son of head coach Anthony Lynn in the NFL for a long time too. And so to me, he's an offensive genius. And I think it took humility, but also courage for him to truly give the keys over to someone and say, hey, you know what you're doing. You take over it. You take care of that side of the ball. I'll focus on this side of the ball and let's do this together. And I think that helps, especially in practice and fall camp and spring camp, really having iron sharpen iron, as they say, So I think he's learning as he goes. I think we can all recognize that. And I think it's only going to get better. I mean, last year they went from 121st in scoring defense in 2023, which was historically the worst defense in USC football history, to 55th in year one. So keep making those strides forward, and I think it's great stuff ahead.
Yeah, just the development too, Kobe, of what he's done with Jaden. I mean, I know it's early, but you know what? Honestly, if the season ended, whatever, I'd be a happy man just seeing him go from probably one of the most doubted quarterbacks in football, in college football, and people just constantly knocking the kid. But to see the way him and the relationship that Riley and Mayava have built, man, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just think it's great, man, to see that the leadership. It's just infectious. Both of them smiling on the sidelines, Kobe. They're over there celebrating. Riley's getting jazzed up when Riley was like a statue, man, last year. Preston was getting pissed off because he wasn't getting fired up enough. But yeah, but now it looks great, man. I'm wondering if you see the same things as far as that connection that him and Mayava have built.
Well, when you looked at his film at Las Vegas, the talent was there. That was not questionable in my opinion. He had the arm talent. He actually kind of emulated some of Caleb Williams' escapability on the run at times. Not quite Caleb Williams, but you saw similar attributes.
Yeah.
So I think last year it was kind of like he was thrown into the fire. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he even transferred in during the spring window. He transferred after because he was committed to Georgia originally. But I think it just took more repetitions, more testing, more growth, and to give him a full offseason of saying, "Hey, you're QB1. Here's the keys. We're gonna learn the offense together. Help build his confidence up." I think you can see that on the sidelines, on the field. And when you threw him in last year against was it Rutgers? What was the first game? Nebraska. Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, the talent was still there. It was just a few decisions being made, whether it was the A&M game, the Notre Dame game with the picks. But to have a full offseason to prepare to build your confidence and self-esteem and to go through that offense, in my opinion, is what's gone light years in regards to growing his confidence as a player and the chemistry in that locker room too.
One more question from me, Preston. Hold on to Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe, I worked for a corporate company that was based out of College Station. And I've seen fandom at its most purest form there, man. These guys were literally, I mean, everything was revolved around Texas A&M. And you've seen the way the fan base is. Obviously, we're different in LA, but I kind of took a little heat there for a little bit because I said, you know what, that's the one thing I think we're lacking is I think we need to kind of I'm not saying our fans are bad. I'm just saying I think that's the only thing missing from us to be at kind of another level. I mean, honestly, if we start winning championships, it's going to change. But I think that support, there's that one level over by the peristyle that's always empty. I wish they would just give those tickets away to like people in the community with kids, fill it up or something with a bunch of kids, something. But I just think we just need to kind of step it up just a tad bit to get to that level where it makes it imposing for competition when they come and play. I don't know what your take is on that.
Yeah, well, I think it's unfortunate you took heat for that because here's the thing. People who are good sports journalists, reporters, they have to be level-headed and unbiased. Do I love USC? You bet. Am I happy to be at Auburn? Yeah, but I mean, I picked us to lose to Baylor week 1. I didn't want to, but I thought Baylor was going to be the better team. I have us losing again to Oklahoma. Not because I want them to lose, but because I think they're the better team, And so with that being said, the movie Field of Dreams?
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, you got it, man.
The problem is SoCal, you have an abundance of riches. You have the LA Dodgers, you have the Lakers, and then you have little bro the Clippers, you have the beach, you have shopping center, you have it all. And so there's a lot of options. So if USC isn't performing to their capability, people are going to say, "Hey, I'll just watch at home or I'll go do something else today." But if we can consistently compete for playoffs, for championships, people will come. People will stack up the Coliseum. And to your point earlier, we have just as diehard fans in SoCal, in Orange County. It's just having lived in Texas too now, I feel like there's a lot more of a culture that revolves around football, especially in smaller towns where it's like, hey, this is a true college town, or they don't have a major metropolitan city down the road. And so they look forward to spring ball. I talked to a guy who went to Oklahoma State. He said, in Stillwater, we only have 2 seasons, spring ball and fall ball, And so obviously we want that in the Coliseum, but for a place that's as diverse as Southern California, I think you just need to have success. Look at the Dodgers. Lots of OG Dodger fans, but there's been a huge influx of fans since they've been winning World Series every so often, So
Kobe, I'll tell you what. I got hit with a really good friend of mine hit me with a question. He's like, "Do you really consider LA a true sports town?" And then he brings up the example. Look at the Dodgers when they're losing, fans don't show up. When your Trojans are losing, they don't show. So you know what? I would like to think that we're a true sports city. But like you just hit it right on the head, man. We got to start taking it to that next level. You build it and they will come. And that's exactly, I believe in that, man. I truly do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think we see the effort, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Bowden and Riley, you know, they put out that letter, and then, you know, there's Jen Cohen and them. They're giving discounts, you know, to fans that get there early tonight at the game.
Oh,
So definitely an effort,
great.
man, as far as, you know, the front office, as far as, you know, the athletic department and trying to get people into the Coliseum, trying to get people there early. And really, you'll have a great game day environment, man, where people have to
Yeah.
think about, like, damn, we got to go play USC in the Coliseum. You know, it's not just going to be just a snooze fest. It's going to be actually, you know, a problem, you know, for us to hear and for us to compete and get things done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you heard us probably talking about quarterback play, quarterback development in college football right now. What's your opinion on what we're seeing from a lot of the guys that preseason were kind of touted as, you know, being top picks in the draft, or, you know, Heisman favorites? You know, kind of the regression of a lot of these guys, and, you know, kind of their play over the last few weeks.
Yeah, so specifically to preseason hype,
Yeah.
here's the thing about outlets like ESPN, CBS Sports, college football, and Fox. A lot of these industries, they tend to piggyback off of how teams finished the year before. But what they don't take into account, for example, LSU, they lost 4 starters from that solid offensive line last year, including fourth overall pick Will Campbell. Same thing with Texas. They had a top 5 offensive line. They lost 4 starters mutually, you know. And so I think that has to do it with it in regards to preseason hype for these quarterbacks, because if they don't have, you know, ample pocket protection and they're getting pressured constantly, they're not going to be able to perform like they can in 7-7, where they don't have to worry about that as much. But for the overall picture in regards to quarterback development, you mentioned it earlier, Preston. I think the transfer portal has a big thing to do with that, because if, you know, flashback 5 years ago, you had, you know, Joe Burrow at LSU, you had Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma, and those guys, they were there for at least 2 to 3 years, and they sat, and there wasn't as much coaching overhaul and turnover, and they had more time to learn the offensive playbook, to get comfortable. But now you see less video game numbers because I think of the portal era, one, because of transferring, constant overturn, whether it's coaching changes, roster depth, chemistry. It's hard to build chemistry when you have different guys on the field every year. But 2, I think also that sorry, I just lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes.
No, it's okay. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, now I recall. Okay, with the transfer portal also, there's a much more level playing field. So you probably can't have as many video game numbers as you could in the past. For example, Michigan
Yeah.
State a few years ago, they went from, you know, a 3-win season to an 11-win season in 1 year because of the portal.
Yep.
Same with Alabama. With Nick Saban, his last 3 years at Alabama, they weren't dominant Alabama like they were in the 2010s.
No.
They won 10 games, 11 games, but they were barely beating 5-win Auburn, 4-win LSU, not good teams. And because of that, I think you're seeing more of an even playing field amongst college football teams, where it's like, hey, there's not one clear dominant team anymore. There's a handful of teams that can compete for the title.
You know, I'm with you, Kobe, on that. You look at a team like Indiana, rock bottom, not even considered a football school. You're lucky if you got the janitor to come in and watch the game. Man, that was how bad it was, dude. So it was pretty bad. And Signetti to come in and load it up with transfer portal people and be able to compete year one was pretty impressive, man. So there's some winning situations there, but I'm with you with the quarterback development. It's like, you know, you got so much just changing at a rapid pace in today's college landscape, man. I couldn't even imagine how tough it is for some of these young guys to acclimate themselves and get comfortable. But you're right. Like I told Preston earlier, sitting is probably the best thing for some of these young guys.
Yeah. But that's weird because you see a situation like Archer, you sit, and when you come out, you do not look good. So it's like it's strange, man. It's
you have outliers, of course. It's just more common now, is what I'm saying, or less common rather. Yeah.
Sure. What are we talked about a few minutes ago? What are some of your biggest surprises or disappointments from this college football season, just as far as like individuals or programs, you know, anything regarding that?
You know, I would say Miami comes to mind because I'm a big advocate for returning production in regards to being able to tell if a team's going to be good or not. That's not always the case. A few years ago, North Carolina State, they went 10-3. They returned 21 starters from that team, and they happened to go 6-6. However,
I remember
the last three national champions, whether it was Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, they were one of the top teams in returning production. So it's like, okay, with that amount of talent, that amount of chemistry coming back, it's not hard to see them maybe making a title run. So with that being said, going back to Miami, I wasn't high on them. They only had 8 starters returning. Last year with Cam Ward, I'd say you could argue that they were more of a escape artist, whether it was the Virginia Tech game, the Cal game, the
Yep.
Louisville game, and then they get exposed by Syracuse and Georgia Tech. The defense didn't look good. So here I am thinking, you lose the number one overall pick to the draft, who's able to extend plays and basically give your team a fighting chance. And you also have to replace 14 starters among him. So I'm thinking, hey, they're probably 2-2 by the end of September with losses to Notre Dame and Florida, who they play tonight. But here I am eating crow. So hats off to Miami. I like Miami. They're kind of a similar program to USC in regards to a major market, and the kind of press and media they get. But for teams, I'd say Miami's a surprise. And then definitely that opening weekend loss for Alabama to FSU. Kudos to FSU. These Florida schools, man, outside of University of Florida, of course, but FSU going from 2-10 to beating Bama pretty handily in week one, that was a surprise for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely
I
got
thought
me.
DeBoer was already packing his bags after that, man. That was,
Hey,
that was
man.
shocking.
Bama's got a lot of tough games to play though too. So,
But Kobe hit it right on the head. Bama last year, well, Saban's last year, they were not the same Bama. They were falling apart, man, behind the scenes. Players were getting in trouble. People, they were keeping it under wraps. A lot of things were happening out there. And that's why the guy just said he had enough, man. He left. And
Yeah.
so Bama was not the same team.
yeah, I remember that South Florida game. They had a bunch of tricky little situations going on. So the Trojans, man, tonight taking on Michigan State. How do you feel about this matchup, and how do you see it playing out, bro, in the Coliseum tonight?
Yeah, so before the year began, I had us winning like 34-27. I think it'd be a little bit closer.
Mm,
But tonight, I think we get the victory. Probably walk away with like a two at best, maybe a three-score victory, kind of like the Wisconsin game last year at home. Maybe
mm,
they give us fits to start the first half. It's closer than what we would prefer, closer than comfortable. But as the game evolves, I think just the talent's going to take over for USC because the talent is clearly there and better than Michigan State.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Smith is a great head coach. You know, what he did
Yeah.
at Oregon State, he had led them to back-to-back 10-win seasons, I think. They even handled us in the Coliseum, unfortunately, one of those years.
uh,
Um, but in regards to how they match up, I think we're gonna establish the run, and if we can dominate the trenches with the offensive line and establish the run game, that's just only gonna open up the pass to just throw up a fade route, high point it for guys like Jacoby Lane, throw some slants to Mackay. I think our potential number 3 and number 4 wide receivers like Tanuk, he's shown out. He's been a stud. He's a burner. I think Zachariah Williams, guys like that, those transfer plug and play guys, they've played well. So I think our talent's just gonna take over. As long as we don't turn the ball over, we should be fine because that's kind of the X factor in these matchups that lead to upsets. If we lose the turnover margin by 2, if we throw a pick six, a fumble, that could cause us problems, and it may be closer than we expect. The one thing I would say to look out for though is Aiden Child's dual threat ability. He can escape. He can scramble a bit. He was a polished dual threat quarterback recruit out of Southern. I don't know if he was Southern California. I know he was from California though.
Yeah.
But they can put up points. They dropped 42 against Boston College. I know that's not a premier program right now, but they can score.
mhm.
So with all that being said, I think it's close for maybe the first 2 quarters, and then towards the back end of the third quarter, we start to pull away, gas them, and we probably win something like 38-27, 42-27, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, man,
Yep.
Kobe. That's a little too close for comfort for me, bro. I hope you're
Yeah,
wrong on that, but we'll see.
I hope I'm wrong.
We'll see. Hey, man, we're gonna get you out of here soon. But two quick hitters before you get out of here, man. Two
Okay.
fun questions. UCLA, man. They let go of Deshaun. Um, any coaching candidates, man? Who do you see stepping in there?
Did you
Who
see
would
our
you like to see?
Did you see our coaching candidates, Kobe? Did you hear those?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think
I,
of
I
those,
hope
man?
they I hope they make one of those hires for our team. That'd be awesome. Yeah, yeah. Can't spell UCLA without an L, you know.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
in all seriousness, I actually wrote down a few names. The
Mm,
first two, I don't think they would leave, but I think they're great coaches, especially what they're doing. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. I know he's a Vanderbilt guy through and through, but what he's done, knocking off Bama last year. And then this year, starting off 3-0 with a dominant win over a preseason ranked South Carolina team. That was impressive. I think Matt Campbell, to take one of historically the worst Power 4, Power 5 at the time programs in college football history, and every so often win 9 or 10 games. That's impressive. I think he should get a look. And then a few more names that came to mind that I think would be more likely would be Sonny Dykes, who led TCU to a national championship run in his first year. Jeff Traylor at Texas San Antonio. They're a pretty good group of 5 program, and I think he's just a good coach overall. And then Justin Wilcox at Cal, he used to be a defensive coordinator at USC. But I think Cal is one of those teams that could end up with that schedule and how they're playing. They could get to 10 wins, and if that's the case,
Wow.
he could get poached. I mean, that's the name I'd look at. And a far reach, last but not least, Chris Peterson. I don't think he plans on coming out of retirement, but what he did at Boise State, especially at UW, he's a solid football mind in my opinion. So those are just a few names that I would list. So yeah.
Yeah. What about I know another guy out there that's kind of itching for a job, but no one's brought. What do you think about Brian Hartline possibly taking that line, leaving Ohio State and going there? Because he wants to stay in the Big Ten, from what I heard, and he's ready for a coaching job. I just don't think he's not a California boy, so I don't know if that would work or not.
Yeah, culture fit's a big thing. I would have included guys. I mean, I did include guys that aren't from California, but yeah, I think if he wants to take that next step, like he's for sure a head coaching candidate at least mid-major, if not Power 4 program, because of how he's able to produce wide receivers every year. We see it, whether it's in the college level with Ohio State or the NFL. But his recruiting's off the charts too. Yeah. So that's a good name. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make it go. I don't know if he would leave Ohio State. I mean, even Chip Kelly left UCLA to just take a step down to go Ohio State. But you never know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. Alex Grinch, man. That'd be good. So yeah, man. And we're ending here, man. Top football movies, man. If you had it, you don't have to just choose one. You can choose a couple. I know it's hard, but what would you say your top football movie all time?
The first one that came to mind is Longest Yard. That's a classic.
No, that was one I was trying to put in there too.
Which one? With Burt Reynolds or the Adam
Sandler? Yeah, Kansas State Penitentiary. No, the one with Adam Sandler, the newer.
Oh, you guys are killing me. All right.
Yeah, that's a classic. That one you could quote. I showed my dad that for the first time a couple years ago. He could not stop howling. It was hilarious. But for serious movies, what Preston said, Remember the Titans probably comes to mind because it's a really wholesome movie. It really hits your soft spot, and I thought it was a good movie, good acting overall, great story, based off a true story, I believe, in Virginia. Yeah. So that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Hey man. Well, Kobe, man, appreciate
Kobe,
you
great man. I love this guy, man. Thank you, Kobe, for coming on.
Kobe's Corner, man. Follow him on Instagram. Tell people where you can find you, man. What you got going on? I know you do your weekly football show on Instagram and stuff like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so for socials, I'm just on Instagram right now. I did apply to USC. Unfortunately, I didn't get in, but I did have the privilege of talking to the founder of USC Annenberg and Sports Media, and he told me, hey, if you're pursuing sports journalism, if you want to be an analyst, maybe start a platform. So that's what I did with Kobe's Corner on Instagram. I basically just talk football throughout the week, whether it's statistics or matchups, predictions, previews. But yeah, just Instagram for now, especially being a full-time student. That's all I got time for. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
you got it, Kobe. You got it. Great job, man.
Coming through. It was good to have you, man. And we'll definitely be in touch, bro. Have a good one,
man. Yeah. Keep in touch, Kobe. Yeah, that's great, man. Good luck to you. All right.
Appreciate it, guys. Hey, fight on and enjoy the games today. God bless.
Fight on, Kobe. Be safe out there, man.
All right.
Good stuff. That was good stuff.
Yes, sir. Shouts out my guy Kobe's Corner. And yeah, man, we're gonna get into the picks and then we're gonna get on out of here.
Whoa, man, let me tell you, Vegas is waiting to hear our picks right now.
Vegas is waiting.
Let's get it, because I'm going upset city this week. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be spooky. So basically, this is where we sitting. We both went 4-4 last week.
Yeah, 4-4. We improved though.
I started the day off with that terrible Clemson loss against Georgia Tech. Let's get to the games.
I can honestly say the losses that I've had are all close games.
So I know it feels like exactly right. It feels like all the losses are close games.
But now this is bread and butter. We know what the teams are like. We know kind of what they're about. So we should be improving now.
All right, man. So coming up here, game's just about to start right now. Texas Tech and Utah, bro.
I'm going Utah. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I got Texas Tech in this one, man. I think the quarterback has like 11 touchdowns. Like I love what they got on offense. Love the tight ends. Love the running backs and wide receivers, man. I got Texas Tech again. It's done in Utah, man.
I just think Utah's a different beast at home. They play a lot better. They play that ugly football at home. So, you know what? I'll go with Utah at this one at home.
Okay, you got Utah at home. Maryland and Wisconsin. I got Maryland.
Yeah, the freshman quarterback's playing out of his mind right now, but I got Wisconsin winning at that. Fickle and them, they've improved a little bit. They're playing decent football right now. So we'll go with the home team.
Okay, you got Wisconsin. Syracuse and Clemson, man. I'm gonna put my money on Clemson, bro. Like, I'm going with Clemson.
It's probably the right choice.
Like, they're gonna lose me again, bro. If they lose again, then I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
But
the only reason I'm picking Syracuse is because the coach has them running after the game. I think they'll be in a little better shape. No, I'm kidding. No, I think Syracuse away from home is very unpredictable. They're playing in the fake Death Valley. I think honestly, I'll probably I'm gonna stick with Syracuse. I think
you're sticking with Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Syracuse.
Okay.
And I know I'm gonna blow it, but you know what? I'm gonna stick with them. Because that little mascot they have, I love that little guy.
Okay, Auburn, Oklahoma. I got Oklahoma in this one, man.
Well, you know what, man?
You might be looking for revenge, but
but I look at the way Auburn's been playing, and I'm gonna go with Auburn in the upset.
Auburn in the upset, okay.
God,
this is gonna be a good day, man. We opposite on damn near every game. Michigan and Nebraska. I got Bryce Underwood going into Nebraska and having a hell of a day, man. I got Michigan beating Nebraska on the road.
I also have Michigan winning as well. I think after that one, that when I saw Underwood over there ripping his guys apart, man, and really getting lighting into people, I'm like, okay, this is a real leader right here. And I saw that, and Nebraska just seems to be a little off to me. I don't know. There's something not right about him right now, but I could be wrong. But I'll go with Michigan.
Okay, Florida, Miami. I got the Canes in this one. The discipline level that Florida has, I cannot deal with. They pissed me off in that USF game. I got Miami winning this game today.
Yeah, they pissed me off last week when they gave up, or what was it against Tennessee when they gave up all those? What was it, 7 sacks, or who was that against?
I don't even know. You talking about against LSU?
LSU. There you go. Against LSU, giving up 7 sacks, and when they used to dominate LSU, and so I'm mad at them, man. So I'm gonna go with Cristobal and the Canes.
We got IU versus IU, man.
I'm watching this one,
and this is a big one. Like I think both these teams are overrated. I'm gonna say that.
So do I.
But just for the sake of USC reaching our heights, I think Illinois pulls this one out.
Yeah.
Or Illinois, not Illinois. Yeah. Illinois.
You know, Illinois to me is I saw what Duke did, and they kind of exposed them a little bit on how you can move the ball downfield. Problem is Duke didn't have any playmakers to finish them off. And I think Signetti, I believe it's at Indiana, correct?
In Indiana, yep.
Yeah, it's at come on, man. Assembly Hall's right down the way, the tradition.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, Bloomington, yeah. They're I'm going with Indiana on this one. I think they're really explosive on the offensive side of the ball. I think Signetti has a signature victory against this team right here.
Yeah, I like Signetti a lot, man. I like his attitude.
So do I.
Michigan State, USC, you already know where we both lie on this, but I got 48-14. I know I'm in the minority there, but I think that's just how I'm feeling, bro. I'm not high on Michigan State. I don't care who's won in there. It's gonna be 11 p.m. I'm gonna be tired. I know they're gonna be tired, and they were up smoking and doing all that stuff last night. Getting to California.
Yeah.
So USC 48, Michigan State 14. I got SC coming out with the victory.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, man, I know they were up last night because I had Fillmore Slim drop off a couple loads of ladies over at the hotel for these guys. So yeah, I'm telling you, they've been up all night, these guys. But
exactly. Crazy.
Yeah, those guys, come on, man. You know, they're out eating In-N-Out burgers, bro, probably fat burgers. Who knows what these guys were doing last night, smoking.
Yeah,
but anyway, well, I'm sticking with USC. I think, honestly, if we stick to our game plan, I think we end up going up quick on them and putting up a few points on this team.
Yes, sir. Big Makai Lemon Day, big Mayava Day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
get after the quarterback, bro, because their O-line play is very inconsistent.
Mhm.
And that's the show, man. Shouts out my guy, Paulie. I love you, bro. Appreciate
love
you
you too,
coming and
Brett.
doing
I
this
love you,
show
man.
with me on a weekly basis, bro. We knocked out an hour and a half. Shouts out to my guy, Kobe's Corner, for coming
Yeah.
through. And yeah, man, we're gonna start bringing guests on here. We're gonna get a little bit better at it. I should have really prepared the show a little bit better, but it's a busy
No, I know.
week.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys. We went on long, but really quickly, Preston, I want to give a shout out to the Gavilan Rams basketball team out there in the Bay Area. My boy Miller, him and his son plays there. Trey Miller, and he's doing really well. He's a 3-point specialist, but he's turning into an all-around player. Really solid guy. But they're all fans of the show, so props to those guys, man. And props to every single person that came in, from my daughter to Bob Springer to Blackie Chan, USCJ, all of you guys, man. It's greatly appreciated. It really is, guys.
Yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
man. Ditto to that. Shouts out to everybody that supports this show on a weekly basis, man. Y'all are the best on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you're watching the show, man. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. Check us out on social media. You can follow me on Twitter at Fight On Preston, on YouTube at Preston's Paradise. You can find my man Paulie at
Calling the Shots podcast with Paulie Walnuts. I've just started putting out some quick 5-minute, 11-minute videos. Nothing spectacular. The video kind of reminds me of a grimy Protect Your Neck Wu-Tang / Men at Work video, all grimy and grainy. But you know what? It's the content that counts, guys. And you know what? You tune in, and I'll get you whatever topics we're going to talk about. I want to make sure you guys get a good show, okay?
Yes, sir, man. Content is king. Appreciate you guys, man. Have a good day. Thanks for coming, and fight on. We're going to get out.
Fight on, everybody. Fight on.